Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we are going to be going over an article titled Every NBA Team's Top Priority in the 2020 Free Agency. So before we go on this video, guys, I just want to let you know something real quick here. Obviously, you know, 2K19 is pretty much dead. Like, people are all about Madden right now. Of course, you know, videos about NBA 2K20 and what's going on there. So I will still be posting NBA 2K19 every now and then between now and the launch of 2K20. But I will say, if you guys are looking for daily NBA content, you know, just in case you're not getting enough over here, go subscribe to my second channel, Extra Crispy, guys. I'm literally posting 2 to 3 videos every single day over there, just, you know, about different things go on in the NBA, like reaction videos, things like that. It's a really good time, man, and I'm so close to 50K subscribers already, so if you don't mind going and subscribe to that channel, would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, in the time being, still gonna be doing rebuilds, you know, every few days, and maybe a few what-if videos just until NBA 2K20 drops, and then y'all know it's game over, man. Like, at that point, you know, hold on to your bitch-ass seats, bro, because it's going in. But, yeah, enough of that. So, yeah, Extra Crispy is the second channel. Link in the description below. And here we go, man. Every NBA team's top priority in the 2020 free agency. Because often when it comes to the NBA, really any business in general, sometimes CEOs or owners or general managers, whatever you want to call them, can be very short-sighted, where they will do something in the short term of things, thinking that it's going to give them this big bump, but in the long term, it just destroys their franchise. So, while the 2020 free agency seems far away, it's really not that far away whatsoever, and it's never too early to start thinking about the long term of your franchise, right, man? So, yeah, let's go ahead. This is an article by Grant Hughes. I'm going to give you guys all my thoughts and opinions, everything listed on here. First one we have is Atlanta Hawks' John Collins extension. So, I do agree with this. I do agree that John Collins is going to be a big part of the Atlanta Hawks' future. With that being said, I do need to see more from him defensively this upcoming season. Like, offensively, I know he's good. But the Atlanta Hawks, they're not going to struggle from the offensive side of things. It appears he's going to play the power forward position. I think he's tried center out, like, in the past, and it just wasn't, like, optimal for him. But being 6'10", you know, in this era of basketball, I do see him more as a center. So that's why I would love to see him up his defensive intensity just a little bit and get to that next level. Because you think about it, man, like, they got Trae Young, you know, Kevin Huerter, I think, is nice. Cam Reddish, we know he's going to be like exactly. DeAndre Hunter, it's like that right there, man. Like, that can be your 1 through 4, if need be. John Collins, focus on defense. Offense, we all know you're great at that. You're a great young player. I just think for this team to take to the next level, it starts with you before you get that extension. Next up, we have the Boston Celtics make a decision on Jaylen Brown. After this season, I think we are fully going to just realize who exactly Jaylen Brown is. For a while now, it's always been like, okay, he's got the potential to be an all-star. And really, since his rookie season, he's already been like a good NBA player. It's not like he's trash or anything like that. But, you know, he's going to want his contract and everything like that. And the Boston Celtics are going to have to decide if Jaylen Brown on their team will be able to reach his max potential. Because if not, you know, let him go somewhere else, get himself his payday, but also be able to become a good NBA player and use that money to kind of fill the voids of the team that you might be lacking at that point, you know, being next NBA free agency. Because Jaylen Brown, I still think could be one of the best two-way players in the entire league here, man. I really think he could be that. It's just a matter if he's going to get a chance doing that, at least offense. I think defensively he'll be fine, but still, he just has to become more efficient on offense. And chemistry of the Boston Celtics has to work itself out. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets saying, staying practical. Yeah, I agree with this. This team, you know, this upcoming season, work on chemistry with Kyrie Irving and the young players. That's going to be a huge part of it because he's going to be coming in, you know, just with this stigma of not being able to lead a young locker room like the Boston Celtics. So just focus on that and then just realize after this year, you don't have much to do because your big splash is going to be you get Kevin Durant back. That's good enough. Chemistry will get you so far in the damn NBA. So do that this season. Next up, we have... Oh my god, man. That's so mean. Charlotte Hornets do the opposite. So yeah, somebody needs to get up there with Michael Jordan. Let him spew on about, oh yeah, Terry Rozier, let's give him that Supermax extension. And then somebody needs to literally just allow him to know, okay, write down that and do the opposite and we'll be good to go. But, I don't know, man. The Charlotte Hornets, I do think they'll have some money freed up after next offseason. Just please spend it correctly. No more Nicholas Batums. No more Cody Zeller contracts. Just Bismack Biyombo. Just be done with that. And We'll see how Terry Rozier does, and we'll assess the situation from there. Maybe with the progression of Miles Bridges, Malik Monk, and who knows, man? Who knows? Next up, Chicago Bulls, make Anthony Davis consider it. Now, I did just read something recently, maybe it was a video I watched, something like that, of Anthony Davis saying that it is a dream of his to play for the Chicago Bulls. I don't imagine he would leave the Lakers after next season, if I'm being quite honest. I don't really know what the Bulls could do to really consider him doing that, you know, unless just next year the Bulls make this giant step and maybe they got some money freed up to sign some player, although next free agency I don't think is very strong, so I can't imagine them signing somebody that would convince, you know, Anthony Davis to leave LeBron James, who actually is Anthony Davis's favorite player growing up, as I just actually learned today. I didn't know his favorite player, but it's also Kyle Kuzma's, which is kind of cool. But regardless, you know, outside of the max contract, there's not too much more this team could do, I don't think. I just think it's going to come down to, it really have to be a perfect situation where the Lakers just, AD, LeBron just doesn't work out. It's just complete trash, and that's the end of it. And then the Bulls just become a 50-win team next season. Zach LaVine just becomes a superstar, and it's like, all right, we need Anthony Davis. That'll get us to the next level. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers become a pick repository? Okay, that's a big bitch-ass word, man. Like, come on, I dropped out of intro to grammar in my damn college. Took it as a blow-off class, and I dropped out after the first week. That teacher was, oh my god, just, ugh. I'm going to assume this means just get a whole bunch of picks. Yeah, they're a rebuilding team. Well, make sure you use those picks to the best of your ability. And by the best of your ability, I mean what you should do, and not go out there and draft another point guard. Just don't do that, and you'll be good to go. Next up, we got Dallas Mavericks facilitate Luka Doncic's growth. So I guess what I'm seeing by the picture in here is that for Luka to grow as a player, you want to get the right guys around him. Because, of course, you know, you would think he wants to be like the leader of this team, which is fine. He can be, in theory, the leader on the court. But, you know, we see right there, like, Goran Dragic. I think he would be a fantastic, just low-key, veteran locker room mentor guy for Luka. You know, somebody that's not going to come on the team and want to take over, but is going to help Luka grow as a player. Because that maturity will get him so much farther. He has the skill, and I would even argue that, you know, for being as young as he is, he already has the maturity too. But it just, you have to get to that next level mentally to become a champion in the NBA. And I think that just getting a few guys out there would definitely help out. Because the Dallas Mavericks, as far as I know, are a very young team. Next up, we got the Denver Nuggets. Keep the gang together. That's interesting to think about. Next year, really the only big free agent that's off the books. I don't know Jokic's situation, but I gotta imagine he'll get himself the Supermax contract, so that's all fine. But I know a big one is Paul Millsap. His $30 million contract will be up, so in that case, maybe it would be nice to get Paul Millsap on a cheaper deal and just keep everything going, because this team, they have something working out there. After this upcoming season, we'll kind of realize where Michael Porter Jr. is at. We'll see where Bobo's at, although I think Bobo will probably take this season to kind of, you know, work on his health and everything like that. So, yeah, we'll see what Michael Porter's doing. And then at that point, you got that $30 million freed up from Paul Millsap. So you can still keep everybody together, but still kind of help and fill in some pieces with that extra cap space. Next up, we got the Detroit Pistons. Find a point guard. You know, this one's interesting for me. They do need a point guard. I think Derrick Rose is going to be nice for him next season. Like, he'll be a nice scorer, but not somebody you want to look on to as, like, the long-term option. Reggie Jackson, he was fine last year, man. He averaged, like, 18 points, like, 5 assists or something. It was something like that. He was putting up nice, decent numbers. He played all 82 games, was healthy. But he just has this averageness about him where you're like, okay, we got this all-star front court, and teams are running us off as not a playoff team, which is completely understandable. They just need that leader, and Reggie Jackson is a good player. He's a good basketball player. He's not a great leader. I mean, Luke Kennard is hopefully going to be a year better and kind of go into that realm of good NBA player. Siko Demboya, of course, we'll see what he's all about. They're going to need a leader at that point guard spot, though. And honestly, I would not be as opposed to trading for one of the point guards of the Cleveland Cavaliers, although that's extremely young, though. It would be extremely young point guard, so maybe not. Maybe like Kyle Lowry would be kind of cool. Chris Paul, you know, if you can find the right deal there, would probably be a better fit. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors make the call on Draymond Green. Draymond Green. How much money do you guys think Draymond deserves? Because we can argue that Draymond is like one of the most important pieces to the Golden State Warriors legacy in their whole super team and everything like that. It's going to be tough though, because yeah, I feel like you got to pay Draymond Green. I feel like you do. Like, he can go to a different team and still be extremely important and still do like the role that he's been doing for years and help teams win championships. But it's just like, how, if the Golden State Warriors, it's like, we don't know what Klay Thompson's going to be like. Of course, they got D'Lo. That might be a sloppy situation. We're not really sure yet. It's like, what do you do with Draymond Green? I feel like you probably do pay him his money. Maybe not like a 4 or 5 year contract, but give him like 2 or 3 years, maybe with like a player option or a team option. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what he does next season, especially without Klay Thompson playing and, you know, kind of playing with 2 point guards now. Next up, we have Houston Rockets crush the minimum market. I'm surprised they did not do that this offseason, because the Houston Rockets, I just remember, man, like, they always seem to just pick up, you know, not like these superstar small forwards, but, you know, like the Trevor Arizas. I thought Daniel House was a nice player that they brought into their system. Gerald Green. They just always do PJ Tucker, another one, name a few, man. I'm just, you know, kind of naming off players here, but they always do a good job of finding like these guys that other teams have either like given up on or just don't want a lot of money, and just kind of like fill out their roster. I know a big one last year, of course, was losing Trevor Ariza. I know he had like the 0 for 12 game or whatever, but still, I do feel like at times they missed him. But going into next offseason, all that money, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, if they don't win a championship, really the minimum market's going to be the only way this team's going to be able to improve. Next up, we have the Indiana Pacers keep Domantas Sabonis unless what? Blah, 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 blah. Sabonis a potential star. Okay. If Turner or Sabonis added value to the 3-point, okay. So unless what, man? I'm not really reading here because it's too much to read. So, but no, I feel like, you know, next season it is gonna have to be a call. I felt like that Sabonis and Miles Turner should not really play together. They're gonna start off that way. I just don't know what's gonna work out. But I do think it's come to a point where they are going to need to decide between Sabonis and Miles Turner, because even if you decide to give Sabonis a big size contract, he still is going to be playing out of position. So it's like, if Miles Turner takes that next step and just continues to develop to be a great center that I know he can be, there's no point of really keeping Sabonis, because that money you can use to still get another great NBA player that fits your system a bit better. Next up, we have Los Angeles Clippers, whatever Kawhi Leonard and Paul George wants. Yep. Whoever they want, man, they're the new GMs. They are the new GMs of the Clippers. If they want a certain player gone or traded for or signed, just do it. That right there, gonna be so deadly. Get the right players around them. I think they already do have the right players around them, but I guess we'll see going to the NBA season. Next up, we have the Lakers. Keep Anthony Davis. Yeah, that would be one of the biggest L's. Probably. You could argue saying the biggest L going back to the Brooklyn Nets trading all those draft picks. If they lost Anthony Davis after one season, after trading all those players to the Pelicans and the draft picks, yeah, man, they got to keep AD or they will just be the laughing stock, especially if they can't sign anybody else. Memphis Grizzlies think hard about spending on talent. Well, there's not a lot of talent next free agency. I guess you're seeing Buddy Hield right there, which, like, yeah, Buddy Hield, I do think he's going to be a hot commodity, 20-point per game scorer. I know he's not been in the NBA for that long, but it's pretty mature because I believe he was a 4-year college player, wasn't he? So the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't really think they got to spend a lot of money next season, because I do think it's going to be a few seasons away. We've saw what Brandon Clark can be already just looking at Summer League play. Jonas Valanciunas, they got him back. I mean, he was a 20-10 guy when he was on the team last year, you know, for the limited time. John Morant, Jaren Jackson, it's like the team's there. No sense in really going out there and just blowing money. You know, it's like, save the cap, develop your players, maybe get some more lottery picks between now and then, and we'll see what goes on. The Miami Heat, pursue whichever late prime star is available. Please don't say Paul Millsap, dude. Paul Millsap's going to be like 35 or 36. CP3 is going to be old. I will say that I do think that the Miami Heat will be a playoff team next season. But I think they're going to be desperate to get a star. And let's say with free agency being weak, it might be a thing where they go out there and get like CP3 and Paul Millsap, and just hope that Jimmy Butler with those guys will be enough. I do think that at some point the Miami Heat will be the favorites to land Bradley Beal, and I actually think they're also going to take on John Wall's contract. I think that's going to be happening, guys. So that's my prediction for them going into the next offseason, maybe even before that. Milwaukee Bucks extend Giannis. I know, man, we're already hearing the talks out there, the 2021 offseason. You know, New York Knicks fans are revving up to get Giannis on their team, and, you know, here, man, just like Giannis is going here, Giannis is going there. I think Giannis likes playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't think he really needs that big market team. I don't really think it's in his personality. Now, if he were to do it, okay, fine. But, yeah, that's just number one priority. Keep Giannis, and you guys will be good for the next 10 years. Next up, we have Minnesota Timberwolves. Move Andrew Wiggins. They need to do that, like, this offseason. They need to do that, like, as soon as possible. I don't think it's so much about moving Andrew Wiggins. I mean, yeah, that's part of the equation, but I would like this headline to say rebuild around Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is one of the best centers in the entire NBA, man. For some reason, people don't think so. They think he's good, but he gets very underrated. I've been saying to man for a while now. The Timberwolves just have done a piss poor job of building around him. I'm hoping Jarrett Culver becomes good. Point guard wise, they got Jeff Teague. Not much else going on there. They got Jordan Bell at the 4 spot. So I guess if you are able to move Wiggins, maybe for some expiring deals, and Jeff Teague's contract is up, then you will have the money to build around Cat in a new way. Next up, we have the Pelicans. Go get some shooters. Eric Gordon, a return of him would be kind of cool. Of course, we see Buddy Hield listed right there. At least I think you guys see that. Yeah, Buddy Hield listed. It wouldn't need to be like any shooters you can spend a lot of money on, because unless, well, I got a feeling this is probably Drew Holiday's last year on the Pelicans. And if that's the case, then yes, you want to go out there and find a shooting guard who specializes in that. I mean, yes, they'll have JJ Redick, of course, but he's going to be a bit older, so he's not going to be able to go out there and play no 35 minutes a game or nothing like that. Now, a rotation of Eric Gordon and, of course, JJ Redick would be kind of cool. I think Buddy Hield actually would fit instantly right into that Pelicans lineup, and him just playing alongside Lonzo, of course, having Zion out there would be really cool to see. So I agree with that one, too. New York Knicks, keep an eye on 2021. What did I just say, bro? Oh, God. How about keep realistic about 2021? Because if you freaking... Oh, my God, Knicks, just don't do what you did this season. Like, you can be realistic and still hopeful. Just don't do what you did this time. I still feel bad for the Knicks, though, man. Like that fan base was... People were just roasted into them. They still kind of are, too. OKC Thunder play the restricted market. So, yeah. I mean, they got all those draft picks. They don't, like money-wise, Chris Paul he won't be off the books yet, but they might try to trade him away from now and then. Gallinari, I think his $20 million contract could be up. Steven Adams might be shopped away, so they'll have all this cap space, all these draft picks, and I could see them going out there and just offering max contracts to Pascal Siakam, Karis LeVert, maybe a Buddy Hield, just all these younger players, just to, like, force NBA teams into an awkward situation, especially, like, the Nets, because, you know, to go out there and give Karis LeVert a max contract would be ridiculous. But the OKC Thunder, they're like, okay, because we don't have no veteran stars here anyway, so while these max contracts of these younger guys are playing out, we're still going out there and using our 20 billion draft picks to draft young players. So by the time, you know, assuming a few of those draft picks end up being stars, these other guys' contracts will be expiring. So, yeah, they're probably going to be savage like that and just offer ridiculous contracts to a ton of players. Next up, we have the Orlando Magic bolster the backcourt. Well, I thought that's what Markelle Fultz is supposed to be about, and we'll have a better idea what Markelle Fultz is like after this season. I do like Evan Fournier. I've always liked him as a shooting guard. Fred VanVleet would be kind of cool to see. He would fit into the young style of that team, so I could see a guy like that maybe going to Orlando Magic. Maybe a little bit of an overpay, because, I don't know. I mean, personally, I like Fred VanVleet as like a 6-man point guard, but after what we did for the Raptors last season, he might just want an opportunity to kind of go out and be the leader of a team. But I don't really see the Raptors letting go of somebody like that, especially with Kyle Lowry being older, so I would much more like to see the Magic just go for a veteran point guard like a Chris Paul, like maybe even go for D'Lo. I mean, I guess you could say he's a veteran at this point. Maybe not quite, he's still pretty young, but like a D'Lo would be a perfect fit on the Magic. So I think they could put together a nice package to the Warriors. Dare I say a package around Mo Bamba? I mean, the Warriors get a rebuilding piece. They get Mo Bamba, maybe even toss in I don't know, like a Jonathan Isaac. Would that be too much? Maybe it would be. But D'Lo on the Magic would be really cool. We got 76ers, spacing and playmaking. A combination of the both, because we got one guy in Ben Simmons that just got himself a max, wasn't a max extension, I believe it was, that does the playmaking, but the spacing kind of hurts. I know a lot of people think that they're going to have issues with that this season. I really don't think so. I think Al Horford is going to be a good enough three-point shooter where, teams aren't going to leave him wide open. They're not going to do that. Josh Richardson could potentially be a 20-point per game scorer, man. I really think he could be that. The biggest issue can be Ben Simmons. I'm hearing he's working on the three-point game. So, if you can go out there and maybe bolster the spacing of your bench just so you have guys for certain situations, then that would be a good route to go. I'm showing Isaiah Thomas right there. I don't know if that's the best fit, but it's a fit, I suppose. Phoenix Suns, backup bigs. They got DeAndre Ayton. They don't really know nothing crazy there. You see Plumlee right there. There's maybe a Kenneth Faried. There's plenty of just good veteran centers out there. And that will be fine. I mean, I don't really got too much to say about this. Backup centers are a dime a dozen these days. Portland Trailblazers reevaluate the wing spots. Ooh. I don't think they need to. I don't think they need some superstar wing player on this team. I feel like Rodney Hood, I think Kent Bazemore is going to be just a nice breath of fresh air from like an Evan Turner. Of course, they got Nazir Little. I actually kind of like more of the role player-esque look of the wing spots for this team, because all the stardom's in the backcourt. So get the guys out there that play with them well. Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings. Leave no doubt on De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, he's an up-and-comer, guys. He's progressed so much more nicely than I thought he would this quickly, guys. We all thought he was going to have trouble with his shooting out there. He's put that to rest. Shot like 36, 37% from three last season. His athleticism off the charts. He just has this very likable thing about him, too, where you're like, yo, this guy could be the face of the Sacramento Kings for the next 12, 13, 14 years. But you got to have confidence in them, and I do think the Kings will have that confidence in them. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs commence youth movement. Yes, they are kind of stuck in that phase of decent enough veteran players like LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan. Like, those are good players. They can get you to the playoffs. They're not going to win you a championship. And then kind of being stuck with the Derek Whites, the Jonte Murrays of the world. Like, the young players that could get there eventually, but by the time they do, these older players are going to be long and gone. So, they got to go out there. They've always been a team that's been amazing at just draft prospecting and drafting the right players and getting steals out there. So, I do think eventually, because DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if this man was going to opt out on a $28 million deal. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. And then LaMarcus Aldridge, I can see after the season, just him going to a different team where he has a better chance to win. Maybe the Portland Trailblazers. We got the Toronto Raptors. Keep the young core and add to it. So, Siakam, been saying this for a while now. As much as he's one of my favorite players, I don't think he's the number one option on a championship team. Now, if you can keep him, maybe keep Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby, kind of develop some more too. Then eventually, come the 2021 NBA offseason, you can convince one of those big names to come to the team, kind of like they did with Kawhi Leonard. Kind of give him the speech of, hey, we got the guys right here. We just need you to come on this team and be Kawhi, which is, of course, easier said than done. But, just so, some sort of superstar player out there wanting to go into a scenario where there's no rebuilding happening, the right guys are around them. Just insert me into this team, and I'll win you a championship. Next up, we have Utah Jazz secure the Spider. Yep, I think he's going to be one of the... he's already one of the top shooting guards in the NBA. He's going to continue to get better. Just don't let him walk away. Like, Utah Jazz, you did a great job this season getting Mike Conley and Bojan Bogdanovic and just really showing Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert that you are willing to improve the roster. So keep on going with that. Let him know that just his success as a player and as a winner means the most to you, and he'll stay. I think he'll stick around. And the Washington Wizards, okay. Well, we got nothing here for the Washington Wizards, so I'm gonna keep it simple. Get rid of John Wall and Bradley Beal. Start your bitch ass rebuild, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know when I do these 30 team ones like this, they are kind of longer, but I do appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you stayed for the entire video. I'm just very curious. I know when it comes to these are more like podcasty, which I kind of love those bottom men. But yes, just want to say again, feel free to subscribe to my second channel, Extra Crispy. We're still going to be posting 2K19 every now and then until 2K20 is released. But keep in mind, man, the game is dead for the most part, but I can still get some lit videos out of it. And once 2K20 drops, we're back to the rebuild grind, the Miley grind, and probably some My Career. I really want to start My Career series, especially by you guys supporting that second channel, Extra Crispy. It will allow me to kind of experiment on this channel a bit more. And yeah, man, that really just means the world to me. Thank you all so much, guys. Peace out.